So the past couple days have been very interesting in the terms of being a World of Warcraft player in the current scene of Classic WoW, especially with everything that's going on with, Blizzard trying to fearmonger a lot of these private server companies such as Turtle WoW and more than likely other companies in the future if this is the direction that Blizzard wants to go through. And a lot of players are obviously upset about this, but the one thing that I found kind of intriguing, because I was talking with my chat last night, we were live on, stream with, Twitch, Kick, and YouTube, and basically, I saw something in the document that I found really disturbing, in my opinion, and that had to do with an individual named Shagu. And if you guys are not familiar with Shagu's work, Shagu is basically an add-on developer. He's used Shagu tweaks before. You probably have heard of that one if you ever went in the advanced interface options and messed around with a lot of different settings that Shagu offered for specific versions of the client of the game, such as Vanilla 1.12.1 and the Burning Crusade 2.4.3. And also in 2013, Shago decided to literally stop updating his add-ons of the versions of those, official clients, and he decided to take his work more towards the legacy community, aka private servers. But the biggest thing here is that before even the lawsuit happened, a couple months prior to the incident of August 30th, he decided to make an announcement saying that all his add-on development has come to an end, and he no longer finds the Turtle WoW community to be a nice place to be. And other Vanilla and Burning Crusade servers now support the latest game clients that don't require his add-ons. The few remaining people who value my contributions, is what he said, are not enough to justify dedicating such a large amount of my personal time into this. He also said that the enjoyment of the game has decreased over time, and as a result, I will be reducing my activity and not provide updates as often as before, which I occasionally be online and address bugs as they arise. Please do not expect the same level of activity or support in the past. I will continue to review and process well-crafted pull-up requests as long as they are thoroughly tested and not result in the automated or univerified AI-generated content. And it seems like Shago decided to stop doing any online support for his add-ons after June 29th of 2025. It seems like for the most reason why he stopped most likely was due to negative feedback or any online hate he might have been getting, as were claims being made from the Reddit thread that we were looking at last night. I'm not too sure of the personal reasons, but that was the reason from what I've seen that why he stopped. And as a statement as August 31st of 2025, it seems like Shago made an updated post here saying, I've never worked for Turtle WoW and was never a part of their team. I independently developed open source add-ons for several older original versions of the game, such as Vanilla and TBC. And since TWoW uses the Vanilla client, my add-ons were functional for that as well. I simply made adjustments to my add-ons at goodwill for the players, free of charge by the way, to make them more compatible with the customized version. I'm not part of the Turtle WoW's administration and has never been. And this was his original statement that he made as of August 31st, following the date of the lawsuit. And we could take a look back at the lawsuit as well, and you can clearly see here that Blizzard believes that Shago is an individual who is developing and administrating of Turtle WoW's team, and they also believe that he was involved in the coding and updating of the Turtle WoW client, overseeing the entire operation of TWoW servers, interacting with the Turtle WoW players, and actively participating in all conduits alleged herein. So after reading the wording here on this lawsuit, I find it kind of very intriguing that Blizzard is using such wording. It almost sounds like more of a fear-mongering tactic. It sounds like they are trying to base it on, an analysis of conspiracy rather than anything when it comes to saying that Shagu masterminded this entire operation and how he was involved with the coding and he fully developed everything of the operation behind Turtle WoW, and at the same time he was actively participating with the entire player base, and they're alleging him for a lot of crimes based on this, a couple lines of wording in this lawsuit. But from the things that I have seen, at least, and the statements that he's made on his own website, and also the people defending him as well, it seems like Shagu was just an individual that was just openly sourced. He based everything on original versions of your game, Blizzard, and he's just an add-on creator. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything in the sense of, making any donations given to him from Turtle WoW. He didn't work with the team, as he stated in his own statement as well. He never once worked with the team. He didn't find his time even good in the month of June of enjoying himself with the Turtle WoW community. So the most things that you could try to come for him after is, yes, his participation with the WoW community, but at the same time, you can technically come after anybody who's participated in the WoW community. So I find this to be a very, very weird, because it's only really one lining of word that you have in the lawsuit against this individual who you believe is masterminding the entire operation. But it seems like in reality, this person was really just an add-on creator. That's all he did. He created add-ons based on the original version of the game long before he even did anything that was, so-called worked with Turtle WoW, as you guys claim. He provided add-on support, which add-ons can be used anywhere. For example, you can use Bartender on Turtle WoW. You can use Atlas Forge on Turtle WoW. You can use several guides on Turtle WoW. You can use Questy on Turtle WoW. You can use any other add-ons on Turtle WoW. You can use them on any other private servers as well. So are we going to start attacking other add-on creators? Is what's going to happen here, Blizzard? Because at the same time, if you're going to put Shagu's name on the list, you best start adding every single other add-on creator on the list as well, if that's what you guys are planning to do. And this is why I'm bringing this up in such a way, because I'm very passionate about defending people that, care about a product, right? And they're providing, just support to make the user's life easier as we play the video game. It's the same thing that happens with Classic WoW, with anybody using a multitude of different add-ons to provide support for their journey in the game. I know there was a much, debated topic back in the day, whether Rested XP was something that was, truthfully bending the needle or bending the thread with terms of service. A lot of people believe that it is, and some people believe that it isn't, because it's based on just selling the guide. They don't sell the add-on. The add-on is free, and I can understand the loopholes around those legalities as well. But when it comes to TOS, I don't really even want to bring that up, because with all due respect, Blizzard doesn't follow their own TOS when it comes to bots and RMT. That's a whole nother can of worms that we all know that it just exists, and we live with it because it's just the way things are nowadays. The hypocrisy is unreal. But what I find scary here more than anything is that they're attacking and singling out Shagu as an individual to make an example out of him for any other add-on creator out there who dare steps outside of the World of Warcraft atmosphere, when it doesn't really make sense, because they're not doing anything with any other team. They're just providing support for their add-on based on client versions. So it doesn't really add up, and I don't really think this specific part of your lawsuit, just when I look at it from like a bird's eye view, would hold up in court or makes any sense, unless there's like concrete evidence that Shagu was truthfully doing full-on coding and development with Turtle WoW, receiving money and receiving payments. Then that erases this entire video. That erases everything, and I can't even argue for that. But it truthfully doesn't seem like that is the case. Even if you go to his GitHub links, it brings up 404 errors. He truthfully just wanted to stop and not do anything else. He was tired of, people coming after him with his work. He seems like he got some type of negative feedback, and obviously he's a human being with feelings. Every fucking individual has, dealing with some type of drama and moving away from things and removing themselves from the situation. It's totally understandable. He stopped even, having anything on his page. He wrote a statement months ago. So this was prior to the lawsuit. So I just don't understand why this is so relevant right now for you guys to add this individual to your list. And it mostly feels like, in terms, conspiracy more than anything. A bunch of hearsay, she said, you know what I mean? I don't believe, truthfully, this individual should be a part of this list whatsoever, because it really gives an alarming, alert to all your other add-on developers out there who make a great experience for your game, Blizzard. With all due respect, if you guys are so amazing, Blizzard, at providing add-on support, why the hell have you guys never added your own add-ons? Where is your own in-custom add-ons to add support to show the players that they can be playing better, that they can be doing things better, that they can monitor and manage things better, that they can move their frames better, that they can expand the world better? Where is your own in-created house add-ons for the consumer base? You don't have it. You guys use CurseForge. Everybody uses CurseForge. Everybody uses 1,000 different add-ons to literally make the game easier for them, because you don't do that, Blizzard. So people use these add-ons to begin with. And you guys are starting to do that over there in retail. You're starting to finally wake up and realize you can do your own thing and not need to use CurseForge for everything, since people have been super dependent on that for years. That is quite alarming for any other add-on creator out there who has a dream and a passion to work on actual support for World of Warcraft, to provide the player base something with easier access use that they don't need to stress themselves out about, which is like Bagnon. Maybe you can even say something like, Addy Bags is another version of a Bagnon thing. You can use something like TSM, which is crazy engagement with the auction house to monitor prices that people use on a day-in basis. Auctionator is another one. Scrappy, which is the one that just like basically scraps all your junk for free free. It's like vendor. I think it's also scrappy or vendor. They also call it too. But you get what I'm saying at is that these people add love and support for your game just to make the everyday user in Classic WoW or retail or wherever the fuck you're playing, in legacy servers, privacy servers, just to make it easier. And I just really feel like this is very, very alarming for you, Blizzard, to do this. And I'm not surprised that you guys are doing this, by the way. I'm not shocked whatsoever. At this point, I'm very, in belief that you guys, truthfully, at this point going forward, really don't give a fuck about what the community thinks about you guys. And that's fine. You don't need to. At the end of the day, people are going to vote with their wallets regardless, right? But I truthfully believe that this is something that, in my opinion, is completely disgusting to see. It's unfortunate that Shagu has to go through this entire drama to begin with if he is totally innocent of this. And I will follow up with this in the next couple months to see if Shagu is indeed innocent and see what happens after everything, correlates itself with your lawsuit, with Turtle WoW, and see if Shagu was innocent of any of these charges or he was actually caught up in the mix with this. It's innocent until proven guilty where we come from in America, and he's not guilty off the rip based on your lawsuit or based on the claims of conspiracy or any hearsay she say situation that you guys are trying to claim here, especially for an individual who is an open source developer. He does not work with any team. He only provides a way of easier access for versions of the game that are based on your own clients. So I'm just going to say that I feel like this is a very weird situation that you've put this individual in, and I'm not a fan of that, Blizzard. I can't deny this here because I come from a community that's even outside of World of Warcraft as well, where I've played games such as FGC communities. I've played with shooter communities as well, where there are passionate individual people that just provide easier access to something in the love of the game. Right? And that's what I believe Shagu is doing here. He is not working on the team, at least from what we're seeing, right? Until further notice comes out in the next couple months or whatever, the finalization of these claims happen with your lawsuit. But as of right now, innocent until proven guilty, and he doesn't seem like an individual who wants to just sabotage your product, sabotage players from not playing Classic WoW. He seems like an individual who cares about the development of his own add-ons to improve upon versions of the client that he enjoys and he loves. And that's what it seems like. So it seems like you're coming after the wrong person in my point of view. And I want to shed some limelight to this because I think it's an alarming thing to have for any other add-on creators out there who work currently on CurseForge, who put all their, Lua coding online, who put all their scripts online and given easier access support to their player base, which we all use add-ons. Every single fucking one of us uses at least one add-on or more. And makes our lives easier on an everyday basis. So I want to bring some awareness to the situation because I was talking about this with my chat last night, and I found this really quite alarming, and I hope more people realize that this is a really upsetting thing to see. I really want to know what your comments are below on this because I want to, follow up with this once again in the next couple months and see what happens, where we go from here with, this individual in particular rather than anybody else on this fucking list. I'm very curious about this more than anything because it hurts me as a person who's come from different communities, and I've seen, people get shunned by big corporations such as in the fighting game community, such as in the shooting game community, and feel like they just got the shit end of the stick when all they were trying to do was be passionate about, the project that they love, and it had nothing to do with, masterminding or, any type of, illegal activity in the background, accepting personal donations, anything of that nature. And I think it's kind of, upsetting when you see more of this happen and see the route that Blizzard is going nowadays, where it feels like more than ever they are really turning on their own classic community, which is a damn shame because I really do love World of Warcraft. It's something that when I was a kid, I grew up watching my cousins play, and I always was inspired to play. And I remember playing in 2019. It was the absolute one of the best times of my life. Obviously, COVID happened, and I will never, forget those memories. But, I see where Blizzard was back then, and I see where Blizzard is now, and it feels like a total fucking 180, which I just don't even know who I'm even speaking to anymore. And then I look at, like, their things online where, they try to say, oh, you should stick to the WoW token, you should stick to purchasing, things from us. But meanwhile, you go to other, websites, and you go to other black market places and dark alleyways, and you can get their WoW token for 4 or 5 times the price. And meanwhile, they, don't do anything about their own RMT. They don't do anything about their own bots. The only last thing that they did something with World of Warcraft, which I'll showcase here, which in 2017, Blizzard filed a motion by Torrent Freak, which they asked Bossland to seize all of its operations, and they received a total of $8.5 million to $8.7 million with attorney fees and other costs, which you could see here on this lawsuit, the severe and irreparable harm that basically Bossland caused to Blizzard, which filed this conjunction of doing a lawsuit in the first place, where Bossland was creating a sense of bots and copyright infringement upon Blizzard Entertainment, and this is why Blizzard came after them to begin with. This entire lawsuit, we can also link this in the description below if you guys want to go through the entire file. It's basically a 36-page lawsuit, which Blizzard ended up winning at the end of the day. But all in all, I think it's a very unfortunate situation that we have here at hand. I really hope that justice is provided for Shagu in the comments below. Maybe you guys can give him some support, give him some love wherever you can reach him at. I'm not too sure. Maybe the individual watches this video as well. But I really hope that, you know, everything works itself out. We get to see justice prevail in the next couple months and see if his name is cleared or not. And this is very alarming for a lot of add-on creators out there, which I want to bring notice to and awareness to, because I think it's very important to use my platform to also give a limelight to others as well. But that's all I got to say. I hope you guys have been enjoying this video series of everything that's been going on. We'll be live later tonight as usual around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock p.m. You know, we're usually live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. So much love to you, amigos. All that, you know, support and all that good, you know, nature and activity you guys do. There's an AC-130 outside my house right now. I'm so sorry, chat. It's about to bomb me. It's like Modern Warfare 2. They got a kill streak. It's getting loud. It's getting loud. Let me drink my raspberry tea before I get packed. Fix your fucking game, Blizzard. Peace, bitch.